Hello, welcome back to another outdoor adventure somewhere in Wisconsin. Today I'm out just going for a walk on the piece of property that I can bow hunt. Looking for some shed antlers, doing a little scouting, checking some bedding areas, and kind of that's my goal today. There's a few heavy trails around on the property that I can see cutting in to these beans out here have not been picked. So it's a good food source. There's going to be a lot of tracks and deer probably within 200 yards of this spot right here, and I know that in the woods here along there's a ditch up on the other side of the ditch. I have found some beds in there already. I had a tree stand at the end of this point this year, so that's kind of what I'm out doing today. Hopefully I find a few shed antlers. Alright, first little suspected bedding area here. I think it's a buck bed. I've got rubs kind of all around me here. It's on this point, so we've got a ditch that cuts right here. This point kind of comes out right here, and we've got a rub on this tree. We've got a little rub on that tree. We've got a rub right here. It's kind of indented. There's a low spot right here. I don't know if he'd bed there or if he'd be more likely to bed out here some more. It's hard to say. I can't really say for sure. I've got another rub down this point a little ways here. So he must exit. He must exit and kind of walk down this old ATV trail right here. And we got another rub here on his way out, maybe in the mornings. We have a tree stand over that ridge over there, and we get a lot of pictures right in this area in here of bucks in years past. We didn't put out a camera this year, but in years past we've gotten pictures down there of bucks. There's a trail that kind of cuts along the bottom of this ridge. Anyways, this is the ridge right here. I think this buck beds up here on the top, or at least he did this year. It seems to make sense. Seems like he would bed here. Big old oak tree right there. You can see it's a nice ridge, and this is the first point. This is the first cut that this ridge kind of forms on this half of the property here. Anyways, I'm gonna work my way up this ridge. I saw some big rubs coming out about 150 yards that way, and we'll go check that out. This part of the property here is actually pretty interesting. It's an old homestead, so there's an old foundation. Years ago, kids would play paintball in here. You can see a bunch of stuff set up, but this is one of the thicker areas of the entire property. And as I'm looking around, I can already start to see some big rubs pop in. I found beds in here years ago, or maybe 2 years ago. So I know it's a good bedding area, and there's good sign coming in off of the field over there. I saw some nice big rubs this year, so that's kind of an indicator for me that tells me, okay, there's bucks in here using this, and they're bedding back in here. So as I walk in here, I can see a rub. There's a little rub on that tree right there. Now that's not a very big buck. It's kind of low to the ground, but as we work around, there's a bigger rub over here. That rub there is fairly low to the ground. It's not, all that big. But when we look here, there's another one there. There's another one over here. Another one right there. And the bed I found a few years ago in here was basically right in this area here somewhere. There's another rub right here. A rub there. Another rub right there. That's all from this year. Little rub there. My guess he beds right on this spot here. And what's interesting is there's an access, there's a road that cuts down right there. So he beds in here somewhere. He can see when people walk in or catch a smell if he's got an east wind, a north wind, a northeast, even a northwest. If we walk all the way to that point way over there, it's a pretty secure location. You could maybe sneak in with an east wind in some of these trees over here on the edge, maybe get a shot at him. But I think he's still around this year. I don't think anybody shot him, so he'll be a year bigger. I think he's 2.5 this year. My buddy saw him a few times. But I'm just gonna walk through here quick. I'll come back to you in a little bit. Alright guys, I'm still in the same bedding area here. There's another big rub. And I think what happens is this guy beds back in here, and then he walks up this trail, which is in this thick cover here. It's a pretty thick trail. I don't have any great trees. Like, if I get into that tree, he'd bust me. Almost guaranteed, because I know there's other deer that bed in this little section right here. And this is super thick in the summer, in late fall, or early fall. And my guess is these deer were bedding in here until we got snow on the ground. And once they got snow on the ground, they couldn't get to the food anymore because it froze. So my guess is they moved up to the front of the property where the beans are still standing. But here, let's walk over here and check out this rub. So here's another rub right here. This is on all sides. And there's some belly button high rubs, marks with the antlers. So this is a decent deer. And we're standing on probably 4 inches of snow right here too. If I go around this side. Now I've found, like I said, I've found rubs in here from other deer in years past. I think the neighbor ended up shooting them. But this is kind of a known bedding area for the bucks. So I'm not surprised to find sign in here like this. Like I said, I had no cameras in here this year. We hunted this property very kind of cautiously this year. Maybe lazily is the right answer. I don't know. We didn't put much pressure on it at all. Like, we didn't walk down this way. Did a little goose hunting later in the year down in this side, but I mean, that could even be why I'm not finding any fresh beds in here, is because maybe we pushed all those deer out when we started goose hunting it. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but there's the rub right in there. Couldn't see that one from the field this year, but I think there's one down here that I could see. Here, this one I could see in here. There's a bunch of them in here. Let's go look at these. This is the one I saw during the season pop up in here. I did more duck hunting this year, so I didn't really get in here that much. But there's a rub from, that one looks like it's early fall. Maybe when he shed his velvet. And then over here, there's a bunch more. And then you can see these are all rubbed up in here. There's one. That's a little bit more fresh. That's a little bit more fresh. Some more rubs. Fresh as in maybe end of October. There's another one. It's from early in the year. So that just tells me he was in here. Probably early year through the rut. That's a good rub right there. I mean, he hits this one from both sides too. So again, I think he's bedding over there is where those other rubs were. In that direction, this one's here. He's hitting it from both sides. Looks like it actually broke. Yeah, it broke. He broke it. All right, let's keep walking. I also cut some big tracks over here during goose season. So I think he was still in here until we started banging away at the geese in this field for a week or two while they were here. All right, so this is kind of telling right here. I have a good rub right here. Okay, that's a good rub. This is telling me this deer is in here. I have a good rub on a trail that I can see from the field going into a known bedding area. Okay, so I know there's a good buck in here. this is the north side of the bedding area. The east side of the bedding area, I've got a good rub on the edge of the field that I can see going in there. On the southern side of it, there's some big rubs over there as well. I mean, this is this guy's core area. I just have to find a spot now to get in here and set up a stand, or find where I can put a stand where I can hunt this and not put pressure on this deer. But big rubs going into this bedding area. I mean, I know where he is. He's 50 yards in there. Now it's just a matter of getting in there the right way. I mean, I have rubs all over in here. There's rubs over there. So you just got to find a way to get in there and without bumping them. In the past, I've been very passive in my approach to getting on these bucks, but maybe we just need to be more aggressive on them. Try to sneak up in there and get a little closer. They feel safe in there. It's a bedding area every single year, so it's kind of my thinking. All right, I'm gonna hump back to the back side of the property, about a half a mile that way, and check another bedding area that I see. I'm gonna walk the ridge on the way. Maybe I'll find an antler or two. All right. So here, this is what those deer that are bedded in there, that's that thick bedding area, can see all the way over here. So when the leaves fall, they can see if someone walks in along this edge. Another good rub. Again, we have rubs on this spot quite often. Big point right here. I don't know if they bed right here on this point. They could, I suppose. But we always have beds right here. Or, I mean, we always have rubs right here in this spot. So there's one there. That one's from this year. And then this is from a few years ago. That's probably 3 years old, that one right there. But these are always rubbed up in here. So I'm never usually surprised. There's a somewhat fresh one right there. That's from this year. And the buck trail is actually down here. I'll show you when we get up here. Well, they cut the top of this ditch and they come around this ditch and come on this trail, or if they're coming from the bottoms, they actually come over here and there's a trail. There should be a deer trail. There it is right there. Comes up from right here. So there's a trail right here. It runs right down through there. You can see where the snow's packed on it. So I've had bucks come up this way, meet up with this trail. I'll stand right over here, right in that tree. Actually, look, I've left 2 spikes in it by accident. Right there. It's a good tree. I've seen deer in this spot, but never got a shot at anything big right here. I've gotten big deer on camera right up there. So let's walk this trail to the next bedding area that I kind of know where they are. All right, here we go. That's a good one. There's another one up there. This is thick, nasty stuff in here. I mean, a buck, doe, they definitely feel safe in this. You got little tunnels cutting through it. But I got a big rub over here that came into here. It's thorns, nasty thorns. It's the only rub I see in here. I think there'd be more if he was in here a lot. Here's that big rub right there. It's a good rub. I'm about, I don't know, maybe 70-80% sure that this is all the same deer. Seeing all these rubs in here, I'm almost positive. The spot down here, we didn't have any sign in here last year, but coming up here in a little ways, we did not hunt back here at all this year. Which tells me, well, that's why there's so many rubs in here. I felt safe. It's just a really thick ridge. It is fairly easy to access because we have the field right there, but we just didn't push back here this year. We had a lot of food up at the front of the property and a ton of sign, and we were seeing a decent sized buck in there. Anyways, there's rubs everywhere in here. Here's my other suspected bedding area. It's way back side of this field. We're like a mile from any roads right now, except there are some houses over there, but there's a creek that separates the two. Ooh, this area here is another known buck bedding area. The very northern end of the property, there's some fresh rubs from this year coming out of it. This tangle right here almost always has a buck bedded in it. So let's go over here and look at it. Yes, it is. Again, look at that. Nice big buck bed right here, rubbed in here. This is a spot on the property that always has rubs on it. The bed I think is right here, but there used to be one in here too. There's all this stuff is rubbed up. It's pretty wet in there. Now, look at this. That's from this year. That's chest high. There was a bed right here this year. But as I look around, so what's interesting about this is there's a ditch, and my guess is the thermals just come right down this ditch, so he gets an extra layer of protection. But I see big rubs all around here. We're gonna walk up. Like this area in here is just a slam dunk. Big rub, smaller rub, good rub, kinds of old rubs in here, early fall. There's just all kinds of rubs in here. Looks like a bed right here. Old rubs in it. Now this spot I think is huntable. That buck bed is right over in that tangle. There's a nice tangled mess there. There's rubs all over around that, so my guess is he beds right there. Okay, but what's cool about this spot is I can sneak up to this point, hunt somewhere on this point, and shoot down into this bottom. So early season, I'm thinking I'm going to give that a try. I think this buck is still alive. The neighbor would be the only guy that shoots it. Well, maybe somebody over here, I don't know. They could have shot him, I guess. But we saw him into December, if this is the deer I'm thinking about. The one that my buddy saw. So I got to get some cameras set up maybe around this perimeter somewhere, but I could kill this deer from that point right up there. We're going to walk up there and check it out right now. So he's got an exit trail right here. I've actually sat in this tree right up there before. So I could kill him from that tree, or maybe the bigger one right behind it. I don't know, but we got rubs coming in here and coming out of here like crazy. I mean, there's a good chance there's more than one buck bedded in here. But I can sit up here on top and shoot down. Let's walk up there. tree before right here. You can shoot down into there. And cut a lane down over there on that side. It's a cool spot. I can sneak in, it's thick. There's enough cover. Sneak over this ridge. Get up in this tree and shoot that bottom. That'd be pretty sweet. There's another good rub. Walked right past it. Actually almost looks like a bed. It's kind of a weird spot. Makes me think it is a bed. I saw some big tracks over here. Kind of going this way. Just across. Started to follow and look back and saw that rub over there. Alright guys, I made it back to the house. It's the next day. Just quick reflection on that hunt Quick reflection from that scout that I went on yesterday. I think I really pinpointed several bedding areas for this bigger buck that is on the property. And my goal the next time I head out there is really to pick a few trees around each area that I can hang and hunt, pack in, set up my stand, and try to kill this buck from. So that's kind of what I'm going to do next few times I go out there is I'm going to pick a few trees. In this basically this sign is in the entire tract of woods, but you can see where his main areas are by how condensed the rubs are. So the 2 bedding areas I showed you guys today, that's where most of this big buck bed sign is. But then there's a few big rubs along his travel corridor, which is a natural funnel on this property anyway. Anyway guys, if you like this kind of content, give me a big thumbs up right down below. That would be a lot of help. If you have any comments or suggestions for how to hunt this deer, let me know as well in the comments. I don't bow hunt as much as I would like to anymore, but still when I go out there I want to have a chance at a deer. So I still love going out and scouting, finding these buck beds. I still scout the public land just to get out and walk around and enjoy the outside. I just don't do as much actual bow hunting during the bow season. Kind of addicted to duck hunting and waterfowl hunting right now. Shoot my bow a ton in the summers. Shoot my bow all winter long at some indoor 3D courses and leagues. So I enjoy shooting my bow. I enjoy archery. I enjoy bow hunting. But when duck season comes around, man, it's just like a different world for me. On that note, I'm Chase, and we are somewhere in Wisconsin. We'll see you next time.